Hey, friend. How are you today? Thanks for joining me for another episode of Side Hustle Growth Podcast. If you're new here, I'm your girl CJ. Welcome. And if you're already part of the crew, what up? You know what you got to do. You have to let me know what's going on. New or familiar, find me on IG at Kristen N. James and fill me in on how things are going. Oh. I love being able to say this. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment, share, all them good things. Any platform you're on, your wonderful feedback is always so very, very appreciated. Especially, I feel like after today's episode, you're going to want to hail me up and give me a 5-star review. I'm just saying. Why is that? Because we're talking about starting a side hustle, in 2024. This is a updated version of the first episode from January 2023. Where I shared the 6 W's to starting a side hustle. Is essentially a continuation from that. So, be sure to go back and check out that episode. But like with everything, as time progresses, there are things that change, but the core of it all is still very much the same. Okay? But you can go back, check it out, check out the original and compare if you want to. Compare the notes if you want to. So something to note before we get into it. To think is, as I mentioned, things change and there's also things that trend. Think about the trends and the impact they may have on you. So like, are you starting this side hustle because it's trending? It's, you want to make some extra income, easy extra income, or you might think it's easy, or is this something that's resting on your heart? Listen, I'm all about following your heart. Just make sure it's all in the right place. So at the end of the day, everything makes sense for you. You don't want this to become an expensive hobby. And I don't want that for you. You do not want this to become an expensive hobby, right? So think about how would you feel if you were not to have this side hustle anymore? I challenge you with that. I've had people say to me, yeah, CJ, I'm fine if this doesn't work out. Okay, that's great. But I'm a side hustle success coach. So we're obviously not a fit if you don't care about the success of your side hustle. See what I'm going here with this? Okay, so before we get into it, let's talk about refining your idea. Okay, literally refining your idea, taking that spark and turning it into a laser focused concept from ideation to creation. So we're not stopping at the what, we're diving into the how of making your idea not just unique, but irresistibly valuable. And if you've hung out with me before, it's all about alignment. It's all about what makes sense for you. With refining an idea, one of the very first things, let's jump right into it. Enough yammering, CJ. Let's jump right into it. Getting specific about your business. So last year's episode, I would have called this the what. Of the 6 W's, this is the what. First things first, what is your business all about? Your side hustle all about? Get really, really specific. Your idea might be so amazing, but what about it are you drawn to? What makes it stand out for you and also ultimately for your client and your customer? What problem are you solving? What is the root of that problem? What result are you offering? Let's turn that idea, we're going from ideation to creation. Let's turn that idea into a compelling business that's going to thrive. So do a brain dump of all your ideas and see what really makes sense when you're trying to conceptualize this business and make it into a thing. Sometimes it just takes getting them all out of your head to really realize the direction you want to take things in. And also what could be a shiny object. Because when you want to start something, especially starting your own venture, You have so many, and you're excited about it. You have so many great ideas. Like, oh my God, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can be, and the next thing, and then after. But once you write it all out, do a brain dump. I highly, highly recommend it. Write everything down. It doesn't have to even have any rhyme or reason. Just get it all out of your head. See what really makes sense. See what jumps out at you. See what doesn't make sense for now. You're just like, okay, yeah, that was wild. That doesn't even fit right now. This is also a good time to think about your bandwidth, your level of commitment, your expectations. How much can you invest in order to get started? One, and how much do you want to earn in order to really make it a profit? So it becomes another stream of income, that you're confident in it being a stream of income. So when you're thinking about the idea, also think about what you can really take on top of everything else, because it's a side hustle. So you have a life, you have a full-time job. I'm sure you love to enjoy your life and travel, and you have hobbies, and you have loved ones, and you just like to get out and enjoy everything else. Can you take this on right now? Okay. So be really specific with your ideas and getting what you want to really turn into a business, and also think about the other different parts of it as well. And next step is identifying your niche. So did we not just do an episode on this, CJ? Yes, we did. So you can just do a little scroll, like literally, don't scroll too much. Don't scroll. Like, scroll back to last month when I talked about the importance of having a niche as a side hustler. It's a teeny tiny scroll, tiniest scroll. Don't go scrolling crazy, because there are episodes all the way back to, 2021. And here we are in 2024, just the last month. A tiny scroll, and you can check it out. See, I love niching down and talking about niching down, like I explained in that episode, because it helps you to speak the language of the people who need you. Okay? It's like having a conversation in a room of friends instead of shouting in like a crowded stadium. So who needs your product or service? Like, identify the ideal person. Who is, when you are on that stage and you are speaking, who's really consuming your content? Who's really taking in and paying attention to what you're saying, and can't wait to learn more from you or to just buy from you? This is also a really, really good time to think about who you don't want to work with. Okay, can we talk about it? We're always talking about the ideal client. Let's talk about who we don't want to work with. How about that? It's okay to have to say no to some folks. Alignment really is key when building relationships. This may be a shorter list, but it can help with discerning what to say and also what not to say, because we're not trying to please everyone. That is virtually impossible. We are not trying to speak to everyone and to please everyone. Please don't try to do that. Please don't go about it like that. That's not what this is about. This is also a good time to consider working with your own who? A coach? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Who can give you insights and guidance so you don't waste time and ultimately money on unnecessary resources. You make that one solid investment, and I may know someone. Wink, wink, a nudge, nudge. Think about who you're showing up for and who you want to show up for you. Who you feel like you need in your corner, who needs to support you. This is a huge undertaking. And as much as this side hustle idea, this side hustle is yours, it's your baby, the support is so key. It's so crucial. So I would highly recommend you take that into consideration as well. Now we're good talking about showing up where it matters. So this is the where. Social media is vast. Let's talk about the social media thing. It is vast, but you don't have to be everywhere. I will always say that you do not have to be everywhere. So let's figure out where you want to hang out, where your people are hanging out. What platforms do they prefer, and how can you meet them there? What kind of content do you have to produce that they will consume? It's about quality and not quantity. You do not have to try to be on every single platform doing all of the things. If you need to start with one platform, then start with one platform. If that's where your people are, the people you want to serve, the people whose lives you want to improve with your product or service, then by all means, that's where you need to be. And again, on that note, you can think about where you want to avoid or where you don't feel like you fit in. You need to feel like you fit in, or you want to spend your time, because your time is already so precious. We don't have as much. You don't have 40 hours a week as somebody who's doing this full time. Your time is already so precious. Don't waste it in places that don't feel right to you. If it doesn't feel right or natural to you, you just won't show up authentically, if at all. So think about that, where you don't want to be. And if it's okay, even if your ideal client is in that place, or you feel like they're in that place, but you feel like showing up there doesn't make sense for you, there may be somewhere else that they're showing up that will make sense for you, right? So that's where it's important to do your research, see where they're hanging out. If you need to learn a new platform, find someone that can support you through that. So you're not figuring it all out on your own. I see it all the time with clients where they're trying to figure out all these different moving parts so that they can show up in and for their side hustle. And they're scrambling, trying to learn how to manage the platform or the software, whatever it is, on top of being able to show up for their clients. So you don't have to do it all alone, okay? Now, here we get into the timing your business strategy. So the when, if you will, because timing is everything, my friend. So when does someone buy from you? Let's talk about like generating leads, nurturing relationships, understanding the journey from a lead to a sale. Your business strategy's timing can make all of the difference. So how much are you putting into your strategy? What's the turnaround time? How are you going to nurture these relationships? How long will it take for someone to go from finding you to finding out about you to a sale? Like, what does that process look like for you? Also think about even creating an urgency. Paint the picture of what it would be like if they don't buy from you. So they want to buy from you sooner. You know what I mean? Create that urgency. Like, yeah, you need this. Here's why you need this. And here's why you need it now. And so that by the end of it, like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, for example, I would say, listen, side hustler, if you don't take control of your time now, you're saying you're not happy at your 9 to 5. You say you want to do your own thing. You say you want to leave your 9 to 5. You're not a lifer at your 9 to 5. You want to start something. If you don't start taking control of your time now, you'll end up feeling stuck at this 9 to 5 longer than you needed to and waste precious time saying yes to someone that in turn makes you say no to yourself. Make yourself a priority. How would your life look different? How would your life improve if you were to take a chance on yourself sooner? See what I mean? Like, just create it and create that scenario in their head. It was like, yeah, you're right, CJ. Let's get started now. And that's usually how it goes. It's not even about creating an urgency. It's just about, for me, talking to a side hustler is about making themselves a priority. You say yes to your 9 to 5 all the time. Say yes to yourself and see where that takes you. Okay. Bringing it back. I went off on a tangent. We're coming back because now we want to talk about, we just got into the timing of your business strategy, right? We want to unpack the why. Let's talk about the why. Why are you starting this side hustle? What's driving you? And equally important, why would someone choose your business over others? What is your secret sauce? Let's explore the why that sets you apart and makes your business irresistible. Also, think about why now. Did something change at your 9 to 5 or in your life? Have you been putting it off long enough? Did something ignite a spark in you? Are you just ready to finally have your own thing? Why now? Why are you starting this side hustle? Here we are in 2024. You're listening to this episode and like, yeah, this episode is coming at the perfect time because now. Why now? Think about that as well. And also crafting a unique customer experience. That is the how. We're wrapping things up now. Finally, how is your business going to help your customers, your clients? What will their lives look like after buying from you? How will their lives improve? How can you make them feel? Customer experience is key in retaining clients. It really, really is. So think about the experience as you're going through the experience of what it's like to start this side hustle. This is the beginning. Think about the end of when that person buys from you, those people buy from you, and how they want to feel, that whole experience, and then also retaining them. Let's create an experience that keeps them coming back. That not only they come back, they tell others about you. They're jumping on Google or on your website to write that 5-star review. And they just want to sing your praises because you have created this experience for them. And also think about how you feel starting your own venture. If this is your first one, maybe, you got a couple side hustles. You've done this a few times before, but if this is, especially when it's your very first side hustle, your very first, think about that. How you feel starting your own venture, and how do you want to feel? Oh my gosh, how do you want to feel starting a side hustle and having a thriving business, a successful side hustle? All of this alignment will help you when creating your plan and setting your goals. When setting those goals, you think about not just your desired outcome. If I do this, this is what I want to happen. It's also about how you want to feel as a result of that outcome. What is all of this for? If you don't want to feel good, you want to feel accomplished, you want to feel in control and feel proud, however you want to feel. You want to feel supported, you want to feel seen, whatever it is. How do you want to feel once you've started and you're running and you're growing and you're thriving as a side hustler? So now you can create your brand and marketing strategy. Your brand is your essence, and your marketing strategy is like the vehicle that propels it forward. So it's all about creating a brand that resonates. So your marketing strategy not only gets attention, but it converts. That's what it's about. At the end of the day, you want to convert it into sales. You are trying to generate an income, a consistent income. Your brand is not just about colors and your logo and your website. Those are all key. It's about the essence of you. What people know and remember about you, what people are saying about you. Even when you're not in the room, your name comes up, your business name comes up. What are people saying about you? Think of it as a burger. I'm going to give an example. I'm going to give an analogy, but think of it as a burger. So the brand is like the meat, the important part. The toppings are the colors and et cetera, that make it complete. So everything comes together to make your brand. But what is the meat of everything here? The essence of you. That is truly, truly, truly the core of it when it comes to your brand. And there are so many moving parts to a proper marketing strategy that not only leads to sales, but consistent sales. Spending time on everything covered today in today's episode contributes to your marketing strategy, which is essentially how and where you show up, how people will find you or find out about you, how to draw them in, turn them into leads, and then turn those leads into sales, and then repeat. So please have a strategy. Whatever the side hustle is, even if there's so many ideas, and especially when you think outside the box for a side hustle, if you know you want to turn it into something sustainable, please have a strategy. It's not just about like, I'm good at this thing, so I'm just going to make it and sell it to people and it'll be great. Always, always, always think about a strategy. You think strategically when you're setting those goals, thinking about your time, thinking about your capacity, thinking about your expectations, what you can do, when, where, why, and how. This is why we go through the 6 W's. It's not about posting and praying. That is not the move for 2024. We are not posting and praying in this big 2024. Okay, we are past that. Creating content is one thing, and content strategy is a whole other thing. So when you're planning your goals, you're figuring everything out, you listen to this episode. Also, yes, I'm talking about the feeling of it. When I coach, I have 3 pillars: emotions, mindset, and strategy. How you're feeling is definitely important. What you're thinking is super important, but also what you are going to do, how you're going to move through this strategically. So there you have it. The 2024 essentials of starting a side hustle. The planning is key so you can set realistic goals and manage your time effectively. I cannot say that enough. And if you need support, book a 15-minute vibe check with your girl, CJ. Let's have the conversation. It is a 15-minute conversation. We can take things from there. Maybe we'll vibe. Maybe we won't. I'm not saying we'll vibe. I'm not here to vibe with everyone, okay? Just keeping it real. But there's only one way to find out. And come on. You know we're going to vibe anyway. You know we're going to vibe. Come on. So book the call with me. The link is right there in the description. You can check it out, and it takes a couple seconds, and you'll be on my calendar, and I can't wait to chat with you. Also, you can get the free guide to a short tips talking about strategy again. So your side hustle quarterly success. Grab it, then try it out, see how it works out for you. Maybe when you book the 15-minute vibe check, maybe that'll be a reason to book the 15-minute vibe check. Maybe you need some more insight from me. I did create it for you to make it easier for you to set your goals, but maybe you need some more feedback. So we can talk about that when you book your call. Remember, okay, you're starting this side hustle in 2024. 2024 is your year. It's February. Okay? Actually, no, it's March. I don't even know. That's how the time is flying right now. It is March. So we're wrapping up Q1, essentially. So we're wrapping up Q1, and Q1 is always, I find, the most crucial quarter. So if you haven't started, you want to get started, you know what to do. Whether you do or you don't, you have made a choice. All I'm saying, my friend, is to choose you. I will see you. I will talk to you next week unless you book that vibe check with me. Thanks for hanging with me, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
I found 10 easy AI side hustles that you can actually make money online with. And these are side hustles that you can make money with relatively quickly. They don't take a lot of skill, and we spent about 100 hours researching this one. So if you appreciate us doing all this research to make sure that we always bring you the best possible content, go ahead, hit that like button, and let's jump into it with number 1 on the list, which is going to be photo colorization or restoration. So photo colorization or restoration is basically where you have an old photo, maybe it was taken in the 1800s even, possibly 1900s, 1950s, and you want to make it come to life. You want to make it look a lot better, less blurry, maybe add some color to it. And so in many cases, you might want to be able to see what your ancestors actually looked like, not just a really tiny, blurry, looked like it was taken with a potato black and white picture. And luckily, there are some incredible AI tools. One of them, for instance, is Deep AI that you can do this with. And here's an example of an old picture of a train that's over 100 years old, and then they used Deep AI, they restored it, and it looks a lot more realistic and a lot better. And this is kind of like being the Harry Potter of photography. You basically wave your magic wand over your monochrome memories, and you get to turn them from black and white to vibrant, picturesque. So this is very easy and very simple to do. Literally, all you have to do is take these pictures, make sure you have some kind of actual digital photo of them, upload them to the website, and it's gonna just colorize them and basically just make them look better. Now, the thing is, most people are not aware that this is a possibility. And so they would pay you really good money to do this in different contexts. So just as an example, this person who has a Fiverr gig has made at least $40,000 coloring and restoring old photos. And I can almost guarantee you that he used AI to do it. So here's kind of an example of an old photo. It looks like this might be like World War II. And then here is the colorized and restored version of it. So yeah, anyways, they've got over 2,200 ratings ratings, which probably means they've gotten a lot more people that have actually worked with them, probably 4,000 to 6,000, because not everyone gives a rating. And their lowest level offering is $20. So they've likely made well over $100,000 from this gig. Now, in some cases, you might get a gig where you do a massive photo restoration project. So someone has like their entire family photo album and they want all of the photos restored. And in that case, you could get paid hundreds or even thousands of dollars to do it. And it's not just Fiverr. I'm just using Fiverr as an example to show you how easy it is to get started with this. But what you'd want to do is basically just register to any AI colorization or restoration tool, build a portfolio of different restoration photos, display it on Fiverr, maybe get a few of your friends to buy your gig and then just pay them back. I know a lot of people do that even though it's against the terms of services. And then you're good to go. You're going to start getting people paying for your services and you're going to start making money. So yeah, this one is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and give it an opportunity score of 8.5 out of 10. And honestly, there's a million different random gigs on Fiverr that are similar to this, and it's worth it just to kind of go and browse different Fiverr gigs and just see what people are buying. Another one like that is going to be background removal. So I have personally paid a ton of money to have other people do this. And basically, the reason I paid money for it is because I took a bunch of profile pictures that I can use on my thumbnails, and then I basically wanted people to remove the background from them. Now, back then it was a very tedious process to do that, and there were tools that did it automatically, but they weren't that good. But these days, they have AI tools that are actually really good at doing that. And there's a lot of other reasons that people would want to remove their backgrounds other than making thumbnails. I just gave that as an example. So again, doing this is absolutely easy. Even a 12-year-old girl or boy could figure this out. You just upload the picture to a background removal tool, click a button, and it's done. Now, there's a bunch of different tools out there. There's removal.ai, there's remove.bg. Even Canva has an AI background remover. So you can see this guy, for instance, on Fiverr, he has over 784 reviews. That means he's probably served double or triple that amount of people. And his lowest level offering is $10. So that means he's made at least $14,000 to $21,000 just from this offering alone. And again, this is super, super easy to do. And yeah, you can find these types of gigs on Upwork or Fiverr. And there's other ways of making money from it. You don't have to use Upwork or Fiverr, but it's just easy to get started there. You know, this person, for instance, has over 500 reviews. Their lowest level offering is $10, meaning they've made at least $5,000, probably more like 10 or 15,000, or even more than that, considering a lot of the people probably bought the standard or the advanced package. So yeah, another example of one that you can get started with very easily. You don't have to have amazing skills. You just have to have basic skills and then the ability to market your product or service on sites like Fiverr or Upwork. So I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Next one is similar. It's going to be watermark removal. And this is basically where you're removing those annoying digital watermarks from photos. And there's several different sites you can do this with: watermarkremover.io, media.io, and Dr. Watermark, which the website is watermark.phd. And as you can see, there are a ton of people making a ton of money doing this. So this guy, for instance, he has made well over $4,600, at least $4,600 doing this, because his lowest level package is $5 and he has over 933 reviews. So chances are he's made a lot more than that, but that's the least that he would have made. This guy as well priced his services at $15, so he probably earned around $8,000 considering the amount of reviews he has. So basically, you know, $15 starter package, he has 531 reviews. So at the bare minimum, he's making at least $8,000 with that. So he's crushing it. There's also the opposite service, which is adding watermarks, and that's a very popular category on Fiverr as well. So yeah, this is another one of those where you just download the AI, you upload the photo, you push a button, and it's going to be good like 99% of the time. Once in a while, maybe you might have to, you know, go in there with Canva or Photoshop and just change a few little things here and there. But most of the time, AI is just going to do the work for you. So yeah, I'll go ahead and give this one a 7.5 out of 10 opportunity score. It's pretty good. By the way, share this with a friend if you appreciate me giving you this premium content, us doing all of this research for these videos, finding how actual people are actually making money around the world. And yeah, maybe you share it with a friend, a family member, or someone who just needs to make some extra money. I don't have a big marketing team, so I like growing this channel grassroots where people just share it with others. So really appreciate that. Let's get into the next one on the list, which is going to be publishing children's books. So have you ever thought about turning bedtime stories into a gold mine? Well, brace yourself for a whimsical journey into the land of digital narratives. Welcome to to the world of publishing children's books, where crafting a children's dreams is not just a bedtime routine, it's an AI side hustle that actually makes money. Now, interestingly enough, the demand for publishing children's books is ever growing. It's expected that children's population will amount to 74.6 million this year, according to the website Child Stats, which is a huge market, even if it's shared with many competitors. But you can see buying stuff for children is a super lucrative market. I mean, one of the biggest YouTubers is Ryan's Toys Reviews, and he makes more money than like 99.999% of YouTubers. I think they make over $20 million a year. And a fun fact here is the world's first AI-generated children's book was called Alice and Sparkle. And this was completely AI-generated, and it was made using ChatGPT and Midjourney. And if you don't believe that people are making money from this, there's a YouTube video of this kid who made $1 million with ChatGPT generated books. And there's an article from a blogger that actually tried this side hustle out, and it's called I Just Sold My First AI-Generated Children's Book on Amazon KDP. And the first line of the article is, it sold the day after it went live and I'm no marketing guru. And this is a picture of the book. It's called, I think, Shelby Crab and the Coconuts. And you can tell she's no marketing guru because you can barely read the yellow text, and it's still sold. This one, for instance, got 3,000 reviews and it sold for $13. And that's $39,000 of sales for a single storybook. And keep in mind, not everybody who buys it reviews it. So there's probably only 1 out of 5 people who buy actually review. So it probably made a lot more money than that. So in order to get started, first step would be to conduct some simple market research on what types of things are actually selling online. You don't want to make something that nobody's buying. And then you can get ideas from other successful sellers. And then typically it's not a good idea to copy them because they already have such a huge advantage. What you want to do is just change a few little things here and there to make it unique. So it's okay to kind of steal the general idea, but make sure you change things to make it even better. Then you want to use ChatGPT and Midjourney to start coming up with the words and the images that are going to go into the book. Then you want to develop your prompting skills. Developing prompting skills is going to be the most important thing here. Then you want to do a quality control check at the end once it's made the entire book, create an account on Amazon, list your product and price accordingly. And you might want to do some marketing efforts such as, you know, even though it's against Amazon's terms and services, having some people buy it and then give it a 5-star review. And then also maybe posting it on different websites just to get the ball rolling. But yeah, this one's a really good opportunity. I also see people doing this with coloring books, and people are just crushing it, making tons of money online right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be blogging. So blogging is kind of a tried and true method of making money online. There's many different ways of making money with blogging as well. And basically what you're doing is you're gonna be writing articles, and typically these are going to be SEO optimized articles. So that basically just means that they're search engine friendly. Now, this has been a great way to make money for the last probably 15 to 20 years. And honestly, it's still really good to this day. Now, there's many different ways you could make money from this. You could start your own blog, for instance. Chances are you wouldn't be able to make money for a long period of time though. You could also work as a freelancer writing on other people's blogs. There's also different websites such as medium.com where if you write a really good article and a bunch of people view it, they'll actually pay you, similar to making a YouTube video and then YouTube paying you. And there's a story of this guy who launched his blog about 3 years ago and he's already making over $300K a month from it. Now, where AI comes to the picture, this is where it gets interesting because Google is saying that they're cracking down on AI generated content. However, from a lot of the SEO professionals I've talked to, in many cases, they haven't really cracked down all that much yet. So there's many people that are just making tons of SEO AI generated content and they've been making tons of money from it and they haven't gotten any repercussions from Google. And I think at the end of the day, Google only cares if your content is good. So as long as you're really good at prompting and maybe you make a few little corrections here and there at the end just to make it better, Google doesn't really care if it's AI generated. But this could change in the future. You never know. So this guy, for instance, wrote on r/entrepreneur, here's how I made $3,000 last month with AI content. So going from, you know, doing nothing, zero experience to making $3,000 in a month is really good. Another post on Reddit, this guy basically went from making zero money to making over $1,000 a month. And this was with a new website he created with AI. And this person wrote about their journey from increasing their blog's income from $200 a month to $4,000 a month in 5 months using Jasper AI, which is an AI writing tool. And yeah, Jasper AI is great. Copy.ai is great. And then ChatGPT is really good as well. You can also use things like Bard. All of those are excellent tools. So yeah, lots of different ways to make money with blogging. In some cases, you can use AI altogether. I have a few SEO buddies, for instance, instance, who have been creating AI content in other languages. And so basically they take English content that they know is done really well, they translate it into other languages using AI, and then they basically just mass post it online. They create thousands and thousands of articles, and that's been doing pretty well for them. So there's lots of different ways to make money with this. I mean, your creativity is going to be your only limitation. I'm going to give this one a 9.5 out of 10 opportunity score. By the way, if you like any of these or you have any ideas for other types of side hustles I should have included, go ahead and comment them below. And I always read the comments, so I'll check it out, and there's a good chance that it'll make it into a video. Next is going to be creating and selling online courses. Now, sometimes people are going to want a step-by-step guide, an online course on how to do something more efficiently. For instance, there's several websites like Udemy that sell these online courses for reasonable prices, and people buy them all the time. Another website is Skillshare. I bought tons of different courses from Skillshare and Udemy. And the secret here to actually being profitable with this is you don't want to make a course that's really general. You want to get specific, right? So instead of making a productivity course, what you'd want to do is make a productivity course for tech sales workers, right? So people who work in technology sales, or make a productivity course for teachers, or something along those lines. And there's an anecdote I found online about this person who talked about how they made $10,000 a month with AI-powered courses. And basically, they created over 40 different courses, averaging one course per month, and each course initially made about $250 a month, and he basically just gradually increased his income over time. And he heavily utilized AI in order to create these courses. Now, what I found is extremely useful with AI is to basically figure out sort of how to create a table of contents for your course, like a backbone for your course. So all of the important steps that need to go into your course, and then sort of all the important steps that need to be talked about in each one of those steps. So AI is extremely helpful for making an outline of your course. And then all you have to do is go through and just research each one of those things. And again, you can use AI to help you write those. And it's going to be like 10 or maybe even 100 times faster than trying to make your own course from scratch. And then you can sell it on websites such as Udemy or Skillshare. So yeah, this one is a really good opportunity. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be freelance content writing. So this could be something, for instance, like writing scripts for YouTube videos. So I've talked about this one quite a bit in the past. There is a lot of demand for people who have script writing skills for YouTube. In fact, I'm somebody who coaches at YouTube. I basically coach other YouTubers on how to get more views and make more money from it. And one of the most common complaints that I hear is they can't find a script writer. And by the way, if you're interested in my YouTube coaching, if you're a YouTuber watching this, I'll put that down in the description as well as the pinned comment below. I accept a few people every month to coach. We're very picky about who we accept, but if you're a good fit, we could potentially work together. So definitely check that out. I'll put it down in the description as well as the pinned comment below. But yeah, there is a lot of opportunity to help people research and write good YouTube scripts. So for instance, I have script writers that help me to research and write these videos. And I make much better videos because of the fact that I have a whole team helping me to research them. I get comments and kind of reviews from people all the time about how much higher quality my content is than other people in my niche. And the reason for that is because I have a team helping me research this stuff. Now, some of the best niches out there when it comes to making money purely just from an AdSense perspective are going to be insurance, cryptocurrency, health and fitness, real estate, digital marketing, online learning, automobile, make money online, personal finance, online banking, legal, travel and accommodation, blogging, web development, and web hosting. So it's a good idea to try to write in a specific niche that you can actually make a lot of money from. And I highly recommend specializing your writing in a specific niche. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see writers make is they're just like, oh, I can write about anything. And that's just not going to be good for you long term. It might be an okay place to start out, but you really want to write about one thing, and that way you can become an expert in that one thing, because it's very easy for someone to tell that you're not an expert when you try to kind of pretend like you are one. Whereas if you have a bunch of experience writing about one particular subject or niche, it's going to come across in your writing. And of course, AI can help with this heavily. Is it going to do all the work for you? Probably not, but it can heavily help. For instance, we have integrated AI into our script writing process, and it does save us a ton of time and effort, and it makes our scripts even better. And here's an article about a freelance writer that says ChatGPT wrote a $600 article in just 30 seconds. Here's an article about 4 different freelance writers sharing how they use AI to save time and make more money. And on Fiverr, they're typically charging about $10 to $150 per article. So yeah, lots of opportunity here. I'll give this one a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be copywriting services. Now, copywriting is one of the most advanced types of writing, and this is basically sales or marketing done in the written word. And yes, AI can heavily help you do some really good copywriting. So for instance, there was a millionaire who made an article on how he'd use AI to make thousands of dollars a month in passive income while starting with $100. Now there's different AI tools you can use. Copy.ai, ChatGPT, Bard, Jasper.ai is really good as well. And they can all help you to make really good copy. And there's many different ways of making money from this. The most easy and simple way, of course, would just be Fiverr or Upwork. Of course, you could try to start your own business and then use copywriting in order to market stuff as well, but that would probably take more time. But yeah, these tools are amazing. You can definitely make a ton of money copywriting. This is another one where you want to specialize in a particular niche. First, you start off general, but eventually you want to specialize. And when you specialize in the niche, you're going to be able to very quickly realize what good copy and bad copy looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 9 out of 10 opportunity score. Really good. This is one of those skills that's a little harder to get really good at. But with that being said, AI can make it much easier on you. By the way, if you haven't done it already, what are you thinking? Subscribe to the channel. Come on. Also hit that notification bell. And I think only like 20% of the people that watch my channel regularly are subscribed. So what are you doing? Stop being a lurker. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Next is going to be selling digital art. Now, there's so many different types of digital art that you can sell. Everyone's heard about NFTs. Another really good one is coloring books. I think a lot of people have heard about that as well. There was even this portrait that was sold for an absurd $432,000, and it was AI generated. It was an AI generated portrait, which is just ridiculous. But you can see a bunch of people are making money from AI generated stuff. So for instance, I will create children book illustration using Stable Diffusion AI. They've gotten about 84 gigs and they charge a minimum of $30. So that means they've made at least $2,600 from this, probably a lot more than that. And Stable Diffusion is a great tool for generating AI related stuff. There's a post about how AI art is popular and makes money. Confessions of an AI Artist. They talk about how people are making money right away using AI art. And there's a ton of people on Fiverr that are making money from this, and they typically price between $15 and $200. So this is going to be for the more artistic people out there, of course. You're going to have to get really good at prompting these different things. But yeah, there can be some really good money to be made here. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10 opportunity score. Next, let's talk about creating an e-commerce store. Yes, you can literally create e-commerce stores using AI. Now, you can create it from scratch if you want, using Midjourney, and then just basically putting them in the different places on Shopify, for instance. Or there's actually websites and tools that are actually dedicated to creating these websites using AI very quickly. So for instance, airdev.co, web.com, 10web.io are just a few examples of websites that you can do this with. And on top of creating the websites themselves, you can create the merchandise that goes on the websites too. So for instance, let's say you're selling cups, you can create the art that goes on the cups, and you don't have to actually create the cups before you sell them. That's what print on demand or drop shipping is all about. You don't have to actually invest or risk any of your money before you sell these things online. Once the person buys it, it will either be created, or in some cases it will be moved from a place where there's a bunch of them stored to the person's location. So for instance, this mug right here sold over 104,000 units at $8, and there's 104,000 ratings. Chances are way more than 104,000 people bought this, but that means they made at least $1 million from this mug, and it's literally just your words here. So they would just put whatever words they want on the mug, and then once it's ordered, they print the words on the mug, they send it to the person, and bada bing, bada bang, you make money, the person's happy, and everything's great. So this is just kind of an example of something that you can do with AI. And yeah, these mugs can be sold from anywhere from like $5 to $50. You can also sell them on Etsy. Typically, Etsy is a little bit pricier, and that can be a good thing depending on the type of product you're selling. Creating e-commerce stores, you know, doing Etsy, Amazon, Shopify, doing print on demand, any of this type of thing. And then you can use AI to create the website and create the merchandise. So yeah, AI is just extremely helpful for this kind of thing. Lots of people out there are making money from this. I will give this one an 8.5 out of 10 opportunity score. I found 11 easy side hustles that could actually make you rich in 2024. And I'm not just gonna tell you the side hustles, I'm also gonna give you examples of people who are able to get rich doing these. So this is gonna give you some really good ideas, whether you just wanna make a little bit of money on the side, or whether you want to eventually develop it into a full-time business. And if you appreciate me doing these types of videos, go ahead and let me know by gently tapping that like button. And let's get into it with number 1 on the list, which is going to be selling dirt. No, not the famous Alice in Chains album, actual dirt.
Sorry, what?
That's right, you're gonna be selling the very ground that people walk on. And it's a dirty business, literally. And if you don't believe me that you can get rich from this, look at this story of a guy who did. He was basically a guy from Ireland who moved to the United States, and he noticed at Irish funerals that many Irish people wanted to have Irish dirt sprinkled on their coffin. So he noticed a gap in the market, and he was able to supply people with Irish dirt to sprinkle on their coffins at their funerals or wakes. But that's not the only type of dirt-related business that you can make money from. In many cases, you can make money by moving dirt. So for instance, you can make about $150 to $600 on average for 10 to 15 cubic yards delivered.
Look what I got. I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt.
And you can make about the same amount of money if you deliver sand. And garden centers will typically sell 40-pound bags of topsoil. And these, of course, are going to be used by gardeners to plant things like vegetables. So yeah, as you can see, there is opportunity all around you, even the ground beneath your feet. Now, is this the best opportunity on the entire list? No. But I'm going to go ahead and give it an opportunity score of 7 out of 10.
What's up, guys? So we're going to be having a live training where I'm going to be teaching you how to grow and make money from your YouTube channel, okay? So this is going to be stuff that I've never taught before. It's probably the only time I'm ever going to teach it, so definitely you want to show up for it. And it's going to be at Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? So the link to it will be down in the description, or swipe up or whatever, it'll say it on the screen, but definitely check it out. You don't want to miss out on this.
Next is going to be something that I've done myself, which is flea market flipping. And this is basically the art of buying undervalued items and then selling them for a profit. And in this particular case, you would be doing it at a flea market.
Did I say 700 francs? You can have it for 200.
So flea markets are usually open on the weekends, and basically these are places where anyone can go to buy or sell their wares. And there's a really cool article on Side Hustle Nation about a guy who turned his little side gig doing flea market flipping into a full-time 6-figure operation. Now, there's so many different ways that you could make money doing this. You could figure out what types of things sell really well at flea markets, buy them online in bulk, and then go to the flea market and sell them yourself. Or you could go to the flea market and start looking for deals. Both of these only require you to have a knowledge of what things are buying and selling for in the market. And a lot of the times people will sell these in places like Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, or eBay. And this is something that I used to do with products like eyeglass cleaner or credit card knives. And there were times where I made over $1,000 in a single day doing this.
1,000?
So yeah, this can be a really good opportunity. The only thing you have to know is kind of the market value of different things, what people are willing to buy and sell things for.
Oh my gosh, why are you selling our toilet paper? We need this.
So one thing that people do this really commonly with, for instance, is shoes. If you're a sneakerhead and you're really into buying and selling shoes, you probably have a pretty good idea of what different types of shoes buy and sell for. And so that would be a good thing for you to get into. So overall, this is one of the oldest side hustles known to man. I'm gonna give this one an opportunity score of 9 out of 10. Next is going to be creating online courses. Now this one is insanely profitable if you do it the correct way. And the reason it's so profitable is because it's incredibly scalable. You basically just create the course one time and you don't have to do anything after that. And there's a girl on TikTok who made over $100,000 in a single day selling online courses that teach people how to use Excel. So just as an example of this, let's say that you get 1,000 people to go to your sales page for a course like an Excel course, right? Then 2% of those 1,000 people buy your $100 course. That means that you would make $2,000 in sales, and there's basically zero overhead costs. So this is actually one of the most scalable and sought after business models out there, and this is the closest thing that you're gonna get to actual passive income on the internet. Now, of course, you can create your own course and host it on your website. You can also host courses on websites like Kartra or Teachable or Kajabi, and then there are actually websites that will do the marketing for you. So these are websites like Skillshare and Udemy. So it's easier than ever before to make money from online courses. So overall, I'm gonna give this one a 9.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be TikTok affiliate marketing. And this is the art of promoting products that other people own and getting a small percentage of the sales, AKA you're an affiliate, on TikTok. So one example that pops into my head was a very controversial figure named Andrew Tate, and he created an affiliate product where other people would promote it all over the internet. And this was a pretty reasonably priced product. I think it was like $50 or something like that. And the affiliates would get 50% of the sale. And there were people that were making like $50,000 a month promoting these products. And there's an example of a 24-year-old that works about 2 hours a day and makes over $8,000 a month. And she basically got laid off from her waitress job, and then she kind of started entrepreneurship, but she started off as a fitness coach, but she wasn't making enough money from it, and she was also working ridiculous hours. So she started creating content on TikTok and started affiliate marketing, and she was able to find immediate success. So yeah, this is another one, tons of opportunity. And of course, I'm biased, I'm a content creator, but I really think that this is probably the type of thing where just about anybody could do it.
Do or do not.
You basically just have to talk about things that you're passionate about, right? Things that you're already really good at or things that you really enjoy. And then you just mention in the video, hey, by the way, there's an affiliate link down in the description below if you're interested in it, which there is, by the way, for a free digital marketing masterclass, which my friend Seth has used to help hundreds and hundreds of people get jobs. You can check that out. It's down in the description as well as the pinned comment below if you'd like to. But yeah, this is an incredibly easy way to make money. I'm not gonna lie to you, I know lots of different business owners out there. I know lots of different business models. I know which business owners are insanely stressed, and I know which business owners are actually, doing the whole passive income thing, or at least semi-passive. And I'm telling you right now, the people who create content and they do affiliate marketing are some of the least stressed out business owners. And I've also noticed, just generally speaking, not to talk bad about my own people, but there's content creators out there that aren't that smart that are making a ton of money. Whereas I don't see that many people out there starting like SaaS companies, like software companies that aren't that smart and they're also making a lot of money, right? So this is one of those types of entrepreneurship that is literally like super easy to get into compared to a lot of the other ones anyways. And that's why people like me are able to make 6 figures a month doing this. And by the way, I teach other people exactly how to do this with my coaching, which I'll put down in the description as well as the pinned comment below. I'm very selective about who I accept when it comes to my coaching. I only accept people who are very serious about content creation, but you can check it out. I'll put it down in the description as well as the pinned comment below if you would like to apply. But overall, I'm gonna give this one an opportunity score of 9.5 out of 10. Next is going to be print-on-demand services. So you've probably used print-on-demand before, you might not have even known it, but this is basically where you order like a t-shirt or something like that online that has a design that you like on it. And what you didn't know is they actually never even printed the t-shirt in the first place. They only print it once you order it.
My whole life was a lie.
And if you think about it, that's a very efficient way of doing things. Because if you print the t-shirt out first, you're probably gonna have to print like 1,000 of them, and you don't know how many of them people are gonna buy. And so you're taking a huge risk.
Okay, fine. I'll buy one of your Avengers t-shirts.
And then on top of that, you have to store all of those t-shirts. And storage can be very expensive. And that is where print on demand comes in. It's very efficient because they only print the t-shirt once someone has ordered it. And it's not just t-shirts. You can print just about any type of clothing. There's also mugs, stickers, canvases, and just about anything that you can think of that involves printing something. And this is something that I just started really checking out recently. And I think there's a ton of opportunity right now, but there's gonna be an even more massive amount of opportunity when they start doing what's known as 3D printing. So I think in the very near future, they are going to have print on demand for 3D products. And I think everyone knows what 3D printers are. Just an example of this would be, let's say you design a Halloween costume and you actually design it yourself using a 3D interface. Then you're gonna have the ability to buy it, and a 3D printer is going to print it and ship it directly to you. Think about how cool that is, and think about how many other things that you could use this for. So I think there's a ton of opportunity right now, and there's gonna be even more opportunity in the future. And there's a really cool story about an ex-Walmart cashier that made $6 million in revenue in 3 years selling things online. Now there's so many different websites you can do this with. You can use Etsy, you can use Amazon, even Walmart is getting into it now. And yeah, this one is pretty good. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be audiobook creation. So if you're someone who has a charming voice, let's say you're listening to this and you have like a proper British accent.
Hello, governor.
Audiobook creation might be a really good one for you to get into. And this is basically where you read a book out loud, and then people who like to consume that type of content by listening to it on websites like Audible will end up purchasing that audiobook. And then you would get a cut of that purchase. And there's there's an example of a 34-year-old mom who quit her job as a music teacher and now makes 6 figures doing exactly this. So she was only making about $30,000 a year as a music teacher, and she had tens of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. And then she became an audiobook narrator, and she started making 6 figures a year. And she's almost completely paid off all of her and her husband's student loan debt. And this isn't just a side hustle, you can actually do it as a job as well. And audiobook narrators make between $46,000 and $80,000 a year. So yeah, this is another really good one, relatively easy to get into. It's especially good if you have a charming voice. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 opportunity score. By the way, comment down below your favorite side hustle and maybe I will make a video on it, or at least include it in a future video. Next is going to be car sharing. And this is basically where you rent out your vehicle to other people when you're not using it. So some people do this, for instance, when they go to work. If they're gonna be at work for a long period of time, they'll just rent their car out to another person. And you can do this on a website like Turo. And Turo is basically like the Airbnb of car sharing. And there's an example of a mom that makes $6,500 a month simply renting out her car when she's not using it. So yeah, this one is pretty straightforward. Not much to say about it. How much you can make probably depends a lot on the area that you live in.
Does this steaming pile of crap scream payday to you, huh?
But yeah, this one is pretty good. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10 opportunity score. Next is going to be a home organizing or decluttering service. And this is basically where you transform a chaotic space into an organized haven. And an interesting fact is nearly 25% of Americans admit that their garage is so cluttered that they can't even fit their car inside of it. And there's a story I saw of a 25-year-old that makes $65 an hour and $4,000 a month helping people declutter their homes. But you can actually make a lot more than that. For instance, professionals make about $78,000 to $144,000 a year. There's even books that are written about this and people that have made millions of dollars teaching other people how to do this. For instance, Marie Kondo, she's a world-renowned decluttering expert, and she's made millions and millions of dollars writing books and teaching people how to organize and declutter their homes. And a lot of people out there actually like cleaning and organizing. It's kind of therapeutic for them.
Did you clean up in here?
So if you're one of those people who really likes to do this, you could make money with it. I'll go ahead and give this one a 7.5 out of 10 opportunity score. By the way, if you think of anybody else out there who could use this, maybe a friend, a family member, or someone who's just trying to make extra money with side hustles, go ahead and share this video with them. Next on the list is a very interesting one, and that is selling a custom clothing line. Now, I know what you're thinking, starting a custom clothing line sounds like a ton of work, and not everyone can do it.
Let's put a dead animal on you. Croc skin, buttercream, buttercream.
And that's true. If you tried to start like an international brand, that would be a ton of work. But what a lot of people do is they actually start a local custom clothing brand, and then they sell it on localized social media platforms like TikTok or Facebook. And basically what they do is they'll try on the clothing and they do it on camera, and it's usually a live, and they'll have people actually bid on the clothes live in the comment section on either TikTok and or Facebook. And then when someone buys it, they just have to PayPal you or just send you the money, and then you would ship it to them. And this is especially good if you're selling local type clothing, so clothing that has something to do with the local place that you live. So this is actually a new way of making money that I'm seeing a lot of people doing, and there's people that are absolutely crushing it doing this. So overall, I'm gonna give this one an opportunity score of 7.5 out of 10. Next is going to be pet training. And this is gonna be especially good for you if you're someone who likes spending time with animals. So this could be anything from training dogs how to do tricks to teaching cats how to poop in the sandbox. And if you don't think you can make money from this, here's a story about a female dog trainer who became a millionaire. She's known as the Dog Talk Diva, and she owns the Dairydale Doggy Dude Ranch and Training Center. And you can do this as more than just a side hustle or business. You can actually get employed doing this. And pet trainers make about $36,000 to $57,000 a year. So yeah, this one's pretty good. People absolutely love their pets and they'll do anything for them, and they're willing to spend a bunch of money on that. So I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 opportunity score. Speaking of pets, the next one on the list is going to be pet photography. And believe it or not, this is another extremely profitable side hustle. Like I said, people that love their pets really love their pets. And here's a story of a photographer that switched from doing other types of photography like wedding or portrait photography into pet photography, and they started making thousands and thousands of dollars a month. And fun fact, the earliest known animal photograph was actually taken in 1842 by a French photographer, and he took a photo of a cow, right? You have to pick a specific niche, and pet photography is definitely a very specific niche. And even if you get employed at a job, you'll still make around $37,000 to $60,000 a year. So I'll give this one a 7 out of 10 opportunity.